Okay, guys, last thing we covered in class was 5.8, modeling with quadratic functions. First things are by hand, second things are by calculator. So, if you have something like this that says, here's your parabola, write the parabola, the quadratic function for the parabola shown here. You want to look and always know what they give to you. In this case, they give us a point, and they give us our x-intercepts. Remember, we learned in, I think it's 5.2, that we have two different forms other than the standard form. Is the intercept form and the vertex form. In this case, we get the two intercepts. We're good to go. We can use that. I can write this as y equals a, I don't know my a, but it is x. And then my first thing is -2, so that becomes a positive. And then x, this is a 3, so that becomes a -3, right? These are the solutions for these equations, right? So when we put them in, we always switch the signs. So I know this part. This is great. I have all this. I don't have my a, and I need my a desperately. But look what I do have. I have a point. I have the point of -1 and 2, which gives me an x and gives me a y. I can take this and place in between x and y and solve for a. So this becomes 2 for y equals a, parenthesis, x is -1 plus 2, parenthesis, -1 minus 3. 2 equals a, this becomes -1 plus 2 becomes 1, times a 4 becomes 4. For a, I divide the 4 out, a is 1/2. Right? All I did is, once I put the intercepts by switching their signs, I used the x and y from here, plugged it in to just solve for my a. I can now write this as y equals 1 over 2, x plus 2, x minus 3. And that is the graph. This is the equation for this graph. Okay? How did I know to use the intercepts? I looked at what they gave me. They gave me the intercepts. That's what I'm going to use. We have another example. This is example 2. I did them out of order. And in the second example, you can guess it. We have what's called the vertex form. So I'll give you the vertex. Here's my parabola. Guys, 1 times -4 is a -4, so that a would have been a -1/2. I looked at the graph and I went, it's pointing down. It should be -1. I'm sorry about that. I drew this wrong. Sorry about that. Here's this. Here's your graph. But here's what we do now. We have a vertex of 2 and -3. And again, they give us a random point, 4 and 1. Okay, vertex form. Y equals a x minus h all squared plus k. That's your vertex form, okay? We know the vertex. Vertex is 2 and -3. These are right here. And we said this, in this case, will always change the sign. This will stay whatever this is. So this becomes y equals a, x minus 2, plus 2. Sorry, the solution was 2. So it's x. No, it is minus 2. Sorry, because it's a minus. Minus 2, that's a positive. It becomes a negative. And then minus 3. And this is all squared. Let's remember that it's all squared, okay? And then the k stays with its sign. Whatever sign it has, it gets over there. Now, we want to know what a is. We don't have the a. It doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because they gave us this point. This is an x. This is a y. We do the exact same thing. We plug it in and find a. 1 equals a, parenthesis, 4 minus 2, all squared, minus 3. 1 equals 4 minus 2, 2 squared 4, 4a, minus 3. The 3 moves over. 4 equals 4a. A equals 1 when I divide the 4 outright. So really, my parabola that I'm looking for is x minus 2 squared minus 3. That is my parabola. Okay? So again, what did we do? We got the corner of the vertex. Remember, this gets in by opposite signs, so that's a positive. It's a minus 2 here. If this would have been a -2, this would have become a positive 2, okay? That's how it works every single time. The second coordinate just stays the same and it keeps its sign. And then we use the extra point given to us to plug in for x and y and find our a. Now we move into calculator world. We are on page 307, and this is if you need a review before you do your homework. It's whenever we put stuff in the calculator and then we get a model out. And we like this, we've done this. I skipped a step because you already done this with me, but the way to do this, if you look at that example 3 table, we're going to go to stats. Remember the beautiful stats? You have worksheet on it. And we are on edit. We're going to hit enter when we go there. My lists are already in. I cheated because I was not going to keep you on the video plugging in numbers. If you need to, you're going to clear out your list 1, you're going to clear out your list 2, and then for your first one or your speed is your list 1. Your second list is your list 2. You enter them one by one. We've done this before when we did the linear models, so it's the exact same thing. Once you're entering them in and you make sure they're equal, they all have the exact same amount of stuff. They're asking you, it says here, find the quadratic model. Now, the way they solved it in the book is by hand, with a system of 3 equations and 3 unknowns. We don't care about that. Once we got this here, we're going to go second quit. We're going to go back to stats, over to calc. And remember how we went down to 4 before and we did linreg? Right underneath it on number 5, it says quadreg. I'm going to go to number 5. And we're going to hit enter. And it's going to say, do you want me to do this? And I'm going to say, yes, I do. And I hit enter, and it's giving me the shape that I need. And it tells me that my A is negative 0.008, I don't know, 1. My B is 0.786. I need to write this correctly so you can actually see it. And my C is 12.4. Okay, so I can rewrite this as negative 0.0081x squared plus 0.786x plus 12.4, and that is my quadratic model. Now, if you look in the book, we're very close to it. They solved it as a linear system. They're guessing points because I have to see which points match closer to that linear model. We're never going to guess. You just go run to the calculator. You put it in by going to stats, edit, list 1, list 2. Then you come back, you go second quit, you go to stats, you go over to calc one more time, and you go to option 5, not 4. We're not looking for a linear model. We're looking for a quad model. Okay? And then it will do it for you. That's how you do it every single time. Now, it says, use the quadratic calculator to find the best fitting line. It's exactly what they did. We have it there. I'm not going to bother with this at all. On number 2, it says, find the speed that maximizes the car fuel economy. So really what they want is for you to put this in the calculator, graph it, and find the vertex. So we're going to go to y equals. So example 4, that's exactly what we did here. Instead of working example 3, I'm going to have to plug this in here, negative 0.0081 x squared plus 0.786x plus 12.4. And then I'm going to do a zoom 6. I don't think it's going to work, but I need to see how it graphs in order for me to understand where it goes. And it goes pretty high. I need to play with my window. It's not a big deal. We're going to go ahead and go window x minimum 0. This is a real life situation. X maximum, I don't know. I'm just going to put 100 because I don't know what I'm looking for. Y minimum 0. Y maximum 100. And I'm going to graph it that way to see what I can get out of here. Can I see the actual parabola or not? And I can. I winged it and I got it. We want to know the vertex. Remember how we do this? We hit trace. And we want to get the closest we can to the vertex, which I did. The closest I get to the vertex is, I'm going to zoom in once to make sure I get that value right. Once I zoom in, it's going to look like this. And we played about this. We talked about this many times. I'm getting about 48. I'm going about 48 on mine. Now they're saying the calculator has a max value, and I don't know if it does or not, but let's look. Second calc. Guys, second quit. You see how we have on top of trace calc? We did this in class, but I forgot about it. Second calc. You see how you have a maximum here? You hit enter, and it says, give me my left bound. We move a little bit to the left. And then it says, give me my right bound, and we move a little bit to the right. And then you hit enter, and it says, you want me to guess it? And it tells you my maximum is 48.5. The reason is they use more decimals in the book than we did. And so it's a little bit off, but it's the same thing. My maximum is 48, about 48 miles per hour. They got 45. I don't care how you do it as long as you put this correctly. And this ends our chapter 5 completely. Happy homework.